Thanks for clicking on that thumbnail again. Steve here.
Kenzie.
And today we're going to show you some of the awesome new animals that are joining us. Some of these will be available for adoption or sale, but most of these are going to be joining our educational outreach crew, being available for presentations at schools, birthdays, daycares, as well as some of the few fairs that we have left this season and then for next year. We just got back early this morning at like 5:30 from Calgary. We're out there for the WCRE, which is the Western Canadian Reptile Expo. It's the largest one in the prairies. It used to be in Red Deer, now it's in Calgary. They had almost 100 vendors, so it was awesome. They joined up with plants too, which was awesome but dangerous because that's just another added expense.
We didn't go home with any plants though, so.
Nope.
Which is shocking.
But we got more
Very
animals
shocking.
than we planned to. So we'll show you some of those. So which one do we have up first?
We got 3 male veiled chameleons.
Yeah, when we're doing parties, the kids are always asking for chameleons or asking if the geckos change colors. We used to have Winston, was one of our veileds. He was a popular hit. So we decided it was time to add another one to our crew here. So
And we got a good deal.
Yeah,
we were originally just going to get the one, and then
we spent the weekend looking around and seeing who had what, trying to find ones that were more of a surrender situation, rescue, versus ones that were just bred. There were some really beautiful translucents and morphs and stuff, but these ones were just ones that they needed to get rid of. So we basically bought one and got 2 for free. So we'll be keeping at least 1, maybe 2 to use for our outreach, but we'll have the other 1 or 2 available.
he's very offended right now.
For adoption. These are not a beginner pet. A little bit more care, larger enclosure, higher humidity, but still a lot of airflow because you don't want that air to be moist and stagnant. Oh yeah, there you go. Now being grumpy. Yeah.
That was a long travel, yeah.
So yeah, I got 3 of those adult male veiled chameleons, and then another one that we wanted to get for our education was a tortoise. During the pandemic, we got rid of a lot of our animals, and honestly, the herbivores were still the first to go. Getting fresh veggies and fruits and greens every day was not cheap or easily possible when stores were shut down. So we ended up rehoming all of our box turtles and tortoises, mostly aquatic turtles too. And we haven't had any surrendered, so we saw this guy from Cody Joe at the reptile shop in Red Deer. And it was, I believe, a surrender as well, about 8 years old, male Herman's tortoise. And Cody hooked us up with this guy, so he'll be great for education. His name's Hank the Tank.
He's a cutie.
Nice thing with these species is this is pretty much full size for a male. They won't get much larger. Females do get a little bit bigger, but this is pretty much normal. But keep in mind, they still can live 70 to 80 years plus, so it is a lifelong time commitment.
The next 2 to show, we didn't actually get at the WCRE. We got it afterwards when we went to go to Pisces.
We were going to leave right after the expo and rush home so we could make sure all of our animals are all good, but we had staff here checking on them, and we figured we'd take an extra day, so we stuck around Calgary for Monday, stopped by Pisces, and while we were looking just for a few supplies and see what they had, Kyle was there and told us of 2 special snakes that we were already looking to add to our educational outreach team. So we brought this one home. What is this one?
This one's a Kenyan sand boa, a nice female. So I love this species. They're okay for displays, but they do like to stay underground a lot of the time. They're very good at burrowing, but I love bringing out a boa that is just this big. Because when people think of boa, they normally think of something huge. When in reality, there's lots of boas that are not nearly that big, including some other ones that we got actually.
Yeah, I love doing that to the kids, especially during birthday parties. They're all excited. I'm like, do you guys want to see a boa constrictor? They're like, yeah. I'm like, do you guys want? They're like, they're giant snakes. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, check this one out. And I pull it out. They're like, but they're still excited because it's cool. And then you talk about it, and they're pretty neat.
People usually think they're babies. Like, no,
yeah, no,
it's an
full
adult.
size. They are okay for displays, but smaller displays where you can actually be there and show people like, oh, there is actually something in here. If it's too large and you're busy, it'll be lost on them. So,
yeah.
And then this was the other one we got from.
So this one.
It's a little spicy as well.
Yeah, occasionally, not all the time.
Might be now. Away from
When
my
I first met her,
face.
she was totally fine. But then as we were walking around with her in the bin, she struck.
And what is she?
But she is a Brazilian rainbow boa. The species is really awesome. Does not show off her colors well in the artificial lighting that we have here, but I will do a feature on her in the sunlight so you can see why they get their name.
It's like when you have gas or oil in the water and you see that rainbow iridescent, it is just fantastic.
They're really beautiful rainbow sheen to them.
And we're not sure on the gender on this one yet. He had said possibly female, but he wasn't sure. Females do get larger than males, but still not very big for a boa, about 6 feet maybe for females.
5-6 feet, yeah, give or take. I've seen some exceptionally large overwhelms, but a healthy weight is.
So they're a decent sized boa.
They're super cute though.
Yeah.
Can't wait to show her off later.
This will be a good one for displays and at parties once we make sure she's calm and happy to be out.
Yeah.
So if you remember watching our other unboxing video, we did get a yellow one from, I think it was Cody Joe as well, in Medicine Hat. And he's a little smaller, so still has some growing up to do. And Nelson had posted this one at Tails and Scales. And, well, our guy, his name's Dan, Sergeant Dan, or Dandelion, was a hit. So we figured grabbing another one at the awesome price he was at was great. So Nelson being from Toronto and going to the Calgary Expo, he just took it there with the rest of his animals, and we picked this guy up from him. So that being said, we might be rehoming the original Dan and having this guy adopt him out, and then use this guy being a little bit larger. He's
More
easier
mature.
for the kids to handle, makes a bit of a better display animal. So keep an eye on our page because we will be posting a few animals that are available for rehoming shortly. Well, I know our ornate domestic Spike was an absolute hit. We had more than one person telling us they would give him a home if we wanted to rehome him, but no,
Many people want to
he's
adopt
staying
him.
with us.
Alright. Now this next one is very spicy. This is also one that we didn't technically get at the WCRE, but we got from a friend of ours, and it was through a trade.
Yeah,
So
my good friend Brandon Milichat there, he's the president at the Alberta Reptile and Amphibian Society, and he loves his hognose. He's got giants and speckleds, and this is
I don't think he ever used speckled, does he?
he used to at least.
Oh, okay.
I think he's also got black and white teeth. It's really cool stuff, and we stopped by there to return his swim trunks after we had been at the pool the night before.
So he's always wanted a false water cobra, and he had some false water cobras that we needed to find homes for, some babies of.
From the other video that came from Calgary.
Yeah, and I've always wanted a blonde hognose. So
we traded Falsey for this lovely, spicy little noodle.
super super spicy. Coming out of the bag, I don't think she's gonna be too bad, but very cage defensive and a little huffy.
Do they get much bigger than
The blondes don't get super big.
No, they're
The Madagascar giant hognoses,
Yeah.
the one that I have, those are the largest. She should still grow a bit, but oh goodness, it's been on my list, my dream list for sure.
Who's this one?
This is the not scaly one,
Oh.
and you pooped.
Oh,
bag.
nice. Of course you pooped. So when we were at the Medicine Hat Expo, we picked up our first scaleless corn snake from Ryland at Gas City Exotics. Little female, smaller than this, about a year and a half old, I think, and gorgeous little snake. And it has been a hit at our presentations. People really like feeling the cornless snake. Scaleless corn snake. Whoops.
It's not, you're not wrong, it is a cornless snake. There is no corn in it.
But for the people like, oh, I don't want to touch it, it's scale, you're like, oh no, it's not scales, it feels like skin, and they'll feel it, and they're like, oh, and then they might feel a scale, and then the next snake they'll totally touch. So it's a great transition snake to get people to break that barrier. And they had this as a male, unrelated to the female we got, and a little bit larger, so eventually we could breed them. But again, this is just a lovely snake, so. We got a beautiful, was it female? Yeah, again, Florida
Yeah, I
king.
thought it was male, but apparently it's
And then
female.
this is the significant other to that snake that, again, active snake, great for presentations if it doesn't bite you. Good for displays and potential of being able to breed. That's a nice size. Alright, don't
Currently
have to push it.
musking as well.
Oh yeah. They'll put you away before
Who's
it
eating the
does
musk?
become an issue. You know.
When I checked on him last night, he was very spicy and tried to chew on me. So, good times.
Fine.
Now these two. So we saw the Brazilian rainbow boa.
Same time.
That was the nicer one. This is the
Yeah.
spicy one. Yeah. These guys are Venezuelan rainbow boas. And they look similar to the Colombians, except that they have a ton more, like a lot of speckling, the higher white patterning on their sides and stuff. This one in particular has.
And this one identifies as a ball python.
Yes. It's been a scary ride. It's 14 hours from.
But these are pretty much full size, so that's a nice thing. Is Brazilians, like I said with the first one, get to about 5.5, 6 feet. These guys are gonna max out at what, 4.5, 5 would be
3 or
pushing.
4, yeah.
Again,
Very-
females being a little bit larger. So these are both supposed to be females. So we will be looking to try and find a adult male to hang out with these lovely ladies. Being boas, they are live bearers, so no worry about incubation. If we do find them a boy, all of a sudden we will have a bunch of worms squiggling around.
I'll do another feature on these as well, just showing off the whole rainbow aspect to them, because their iridescence is also incredible. Even though they're not bright red like the Brazilians, their iridescence is still there.
Yeah. So if you enjoy seeing some of the animals that we brought out here today, that was most of the snakes and the Herman's tortoise and our veiled. We do have a bunch of other lizards and some frogs that we will go over. So maybe like this. Oh, what?
I have one more snake. It was a gift.
Oh, yeah.
So, at the last expo,
In Medicine Hat.
In Medicine Hat, I met this lovely, lovely corn snake, and it was born with a defect. It has a massive kink and messed up scales. It can still eat. It still sheds no problem. It's been active. It's been amazing. And I really wanted to get it last time, but we'd already gotten a bunch of things and I wasn't quite, I was really busy, so I didn't want to take on this kind of responsibility, because I do need to keep a really close eye and make sure that nothing does go wrong. Even though it's eating and shedding fantastic up until now, I want to make sure it continues that way. So just because something is ugly or different doesn't mean that it can't still have a happy life. So I think it's pretty cute.
Okay, on that note, thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit the like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video where we'll show you other critters that have joined our team. Alright, thanks for watching.
Bye.
Well, hey there.
Why there?
I'm Steve. This is Kenzie. This is Pikachu.
Oh my god.
Bloopers.